Welcome to Cooking Up History, a series of fun and educational videos for children of all ages, even adults. This video is brought to you by the circa 1774 Hammond-Harwood House Museum in Annapolis, Maryland, and A Taste of History with Joyce White. Welcome to the Discovering Dairy episode of Cooking Up History. In this video, you will learn a bit about the history of dairy products and how butter was made a long time ago before machines took over. My name is Joyce White, and I'm glad you can join me today to talk about dairy. The space you see beside me is the dairy room of a Maryland house that's more than 200 years old. In this space, the owner, Rosalie Calvert, said that in the spring, when there's the greatest amount of milk, upwards of about 40 pounds of butter was made and sold to her neighbors. She said it was renowned for its great quality. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can make your very own butter. Hammond-Harwood House was built in 1774 in the city of Annapolis, not on a farm, so there probably wasn't a lot of butter and cheese making going on there. But the Lockerman family who lived there owned a large plantation on the eastern shore where cows were kept. It is very possible that butter, often shaped in a ball and wrapped in white cloth at that time, was made there and brought to Hammond-Harwood House in the city. I have two special guests helping me today.
Hi, I'm Penny and I am 9 years old.
Hi, I'm Audrey and I'm 7 years old.
Before Penny and Audrey get to work, I want to share with you some information about dairy. Dairy products are made from milk that comes from cows, sheep, and goats, along with other animals too. Humans have been using milk to make dairy products for thousands of years because it's the best way to preserve milk. Ordinary milk will not last for long, but when it's turned into butter and cheese, it can last for months or even years. This piece of cheese is about 3,000 years old, and even though it looks strange and is no longer edible, it just goes to show you that cheese sticks around for a long time. The first step when making any kind of dairy products is to milk the animal. Here's a picture of a cow being milked. Then, using a special bucket like this one, the milk must be strained to remove any straw, bugs, dirt, or anything else that might have fallen into it. Butter is made from just cream, which is the fat part of the milk. To get just the cream, milk must sit for a few days in a special milk pan, such as this one, until all of the cream rises to the top. Then the cream must be skimmed off the top of the milk, leaving behind skim milk, or milk without its fat. This is a special machine invented more than 100 years ago to speed up this skimming process. It's now time to turn the cream into butter by placing it in a device called a churn, where it is whipped with a tool called a dasher. Barrel-shaped churns like this one were also popular. Of course, you could make your dog do all this hard work with a device like this treadmill-operated butter churn, sold by Montgomery Ward in 1895. My little friend Lem here doesn't seem to think this amount of work is a good idea. Little Lem can sit this one out, but it's time now for you to make butter. And Penny and Audrey are going to help me show you how. The first way that we are going to make butter is using this very old-fashioned butter churn and dasher. And this is what they would have used hundreds of years ago. So Penny is going to be our butter churner with the old-fashioned churn. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a container of cream, and you can buy heavy cream at any grocery store. Don't worry if it says ultra-pasteurized. A lot of people think you can't make butter if it's ultra-pasteurized, but you can if you leave the cream out for a little bit so that it sits and gets ready to turn. And we're going to put a little bit of this cream in here. Ready?
Looks exactly like milk.
Just about that. It does look like milk because it is milk. It's part of milk. It's just the fat part of milk. It's the yummy, thick, rich part of milk.
I love that part of milk.
Yes, I love that part of milk.
Penny doesn't even like milk. when it isn't in cereal, that is.
All right, so we're going to take the cloth and put it over the top here, otherwise it will splatter everywhere. And then if you can just go up and down and back and forth like that. Now Penny's going to have to do this for a long time. So while she's busy working on her churn, Audrey is going to show you how you can do this at home without needing the fancy churn. Okay, all you need is a jar with a lid. Any jar with a lid will work. So this is just a small canning jar. So we're going to take some of the cream and put it in there. Not that much. We don't need that much. It's not a big jar. And then, make sure I got it on there correctly. Now you're going to take it, and what are you going to do? Shake it. So can you show everybody?
This is fun.
It's fun. We'll come back to them when the butter is made. While the girls continue to churn, I will show you another way to make butter in your own kitchen without any effort at all. All you need is an electric mixer. Any type of electric mixer will work just fine. Mix the cream on low in the beginning to prevent it spattering all over the kitchen, and then speed up as the cream thickens. It only takes a few minutes for the butter to form. Now back to Penny and Audrey. So we have been working really hard to try to turn this cream into butter, and we are almost there, and I'm going to show you what we've got so far. It's clumpy like butter.
Clumpy, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Is it edible yet?
It is edible.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
absolutely. What we have to do now is wash the butter. We want to wash out all the milky part. We just want the fat. Butter is like 100% fat. Cream has milk in it still, so you want to wash all that out. Otherwise, your butter will go rancid very quickly. Yeah. So we are going to keep working a little bit more on the jar, and I'm going to take over, and the girls are going to go back home and do their homework. And thank you very much for helping me today. Why does churning work? Churning makes the fat pull out of the cream and clump together into one big lump, leaving behind a milky water called buttermilk. Any buttermilk remaining in the butter needs to be washed out to make it taste as buttery and fresh as possible. To wash the butter, place it in a clean cloth and run it under cold water like this. Keep washing until the water runs clear to make sure all of the milk is out of it. Voila! Fresh and delicious homemade butter ready to eat. Do any of you like cheese? Now it's time to talk a little bit about it. It takes 10 pounds of milk to make 1 pound of cheese. That's a little bit more than a gallon. To make cheese, a substance called rennet is usually used to separate the solids in milk, called curds, from the remaining liquid, called whey. Remember Little Miss Muffet from the nursery rhyme? She was the one eating her curds and whey when the spider sat down beside her. Sometimes the curds can be eaten right away, like with cottage or ricotta cheeses. Or the curds can be squeezed together in a press to make a large cheese that's aged, like cheddar or Parmesan. Making butter was more popular than making cheese in Maryland's history. However, cheeses from other states and countries have been sold in Maryland for hundreds of years. Here are some fun cheeses sold in Maryland in the 1800s. Notice the pineapple cheese. This cheese was very popular in Maryland in the 1800s. Here's an ad for it from Baltimore in 1860. This cheese didn't have any pineapple in it, or even taste like it. It was just a cheddar-style cheese made to look like a pineapple. It was invented in 1810 in West Goshen, Connecticut by Lewis Norton. To make this fun cheese, Norton packed cheese curds into this pineapple-shaped mold. Many thanks to Penny and Audrey and Lem for helping, and to the Litchfield Historical Society for supplying the pineapple cheese images. The Hammond-Harwood House and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please visit www.hammondharwoodhouse.org for more information about the museum and its events.